And that was something that really touched me, right? When I was growing up, I remember the African American parents. All right, I'm African American, so I can only speak for that, okay? I grew up in an African American family, and I can only speak on that. I remember when I was growing up that the African American parents would tell their dark skinned children that the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And I'm sure many of you coming out of African American households may have heard that term before from your parents, okay? But this was their way of preparing us for a world that would lack friendliness towards dark skin. That's what they did. They build our confidence from young. I built my son's confidence from young because I know the world that he's going to face, you know. Well, he faces it now because he's an adult. But that is the world that we will face, and they were preparing us mentally because they knew that we would not get the love and the friendliness because of our complexion. Those who were not prepared, okay, probably are the very people who will or have already bleached their brown skin to be lighter. I'm gonna call it what it is, okay? They lack the confidence and the surety in who they are with their natural beauty that they're carrying. So they bleach, they change it, they alter it. Okay? Nobody was telling them the blacker your berry, the sweeter your juice. Besides, everything darker tastes better. Do you notice that? Like a scorched hot dog. A scorched hot dog is going to taste better. You're going to get all of that flavor in there. The flavor is just way better. Right? I like my baked chicken and my turkey wings to be cooked a little darker. All right? It tastes better. I'm just calling it what it is, okay? Most African Americans, we cook ours a little bit darker because it tastes better. Even home fried potatoes with onions, right? Tastes a little better when you cook it a little darker or maybe a little hint of scorch. The flavor just comes out. I like my salmon seared brown. I like my pork chops caramelized with onions, okay? With caramelized onions, okay? It's all good. So anything that is made a little bit darker, it has flavor. Like Flavor Flav said, Flavor Flav is in everything you eat, and everything we eat got flavor. Anyway, who quotes Flavor Flav? Me. Shout out to Flavor Flav, the legend. Okay? But guys, I wrote this poem about Sweet Berry, which represents the dark-skinned folks like me and some of you, right? Dark-skinned people have the smoothest, most beautiful, closest to flawless skin that you will ever see. And as babies, they are the epitome of what having a beautiful human doll baby is, because their faces look so sweet, like candy. That's why I wrote this, okay? To represent the dark skin. All right? The dark skin babies, they are perfect, pretty babies. You notice that? You see their skin? All right? It's beautiful. Okay? Okay, so the poem is about the berry representing the beautiful black girl who suffered criticism through admiration. Because those who criticize, when they have enough time to criticize you, it's something about you they admire and they're just looking for a tear down. But if you raised them in a home and said, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, okay? You're gonna find it hard to criticize them. Okay, you're gonna have to think of something else, because that complexion thing does not criticize all brown skinned girls. Some of us are highly confident. Hello, okay? And those other berries that tried to make her look useless in the poem really admired her beauty, just like everybody else that wanted that particular sweet berry. Okay? Yet, because they couldn't be her, they tried to downplay the berry and make her beauty look useless so that they can get some attention too. Because the beautiful girl always gets the attention. Okay? Sound familiar? When they downplay you, okay, so they can get some attention. Sound familiar? And although she was preferred, that berry, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Although she was preferred, the people had to get what the creator of the berries wanted them to have, right? Because that beautiful berry, she had her own display. She was unique, okay? And all the other ones tried to imitate her and then downplay her so they can get some attention as well. Yes. You know what I'm saying? They want to downplay the blackberry so they can get some attention because she's so beautiful and unique. All right? It's like good music within our culture, but the executives in the industry prefer that you have the trash. They downplay the good music and the rhythm that we bring. They downplay the good lyricism that we bring in the music. They rather you have the trash. They will invest in the trash. Because again, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Okay? And that blackberry was beautiful and unique. Okay? Perfect. But they wanted to downplay her because they needed the others to get attention. So if you downplay somebody and let the others get an attention, you would think the person that's actually really perfect or the berry that is actually really perfect won't bring the good juice. See what I'm saying? They control the narrative, and not only does our culture get trash as art, but the world looks at us as trash art because they invest in the trash. Although this culture is filled with so much good, preferred music, they don't listen to the people of the culture. They listen to what they want the world to think about the culture. All right? But the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The world is poisoned with misinformation about one culture, African Americans, reputation, all right, as being the most tainted. Lies. Although our culture has its share of the nithinids, okay, and misfits, all right, some other cultures have them as well. Who is that? Hi, Aaron. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, and good evening. I appreciate you joining me tonight. Please be tapping the screen, send your love. But yes, although our culture has its share of the nithinids, and some of you don't know what the nithinids is, okay, it's an urban thing, okay? It means misfits. Although our culture has the share of them, some other cultures have them as well. Some are actually worse, okay? Like threatening masses of people who disagree with your culture or bullying the culture to do what you say, all right? Or telling people when and where they can walk freely in a free country. Or weaponizing the police, stealing money and land, berating other cultures in their success. African Americans are not doing that. So what other cultures worse? Not us. Yet you will hear other black cultures, and I'm gonna say, other black cultures around the world denounce any association with African Americans. Also, you will hear African Americans that see a little form of success, they will denounce their association with other African Americans. See, we are talked about the most. But again, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. It's pretty sad, okay, that other African Americans that see a little bit of success will denounce their affiliation with African Americans because they feel like they are successful now. We got to show the world that we are different, okay? Those are African Americans who forget that power is in numbers, okay? Not separatism. Okay, so I wrote this poem because we are in a culture now where they keep calling the brown girls the N-word. They calling the brown men the N-word. Okay, thank you for the gift. I do appreciate it, Gigi. Thank you. Thank you for joining me tonight. Please be tapping the screen, send your love. Okay, yes, we are right now in the present time where people are using the N-word more than ever before. Honey, they are emboldened. Okay? But if we say what we need to say on any of these social media platforms, they'll cut us off. You got to be politically correct in a world where things are not politically correct. Okay? Everyone is taught around the world that our reputation is bad, and that's not true. Okay, so I wanted to write about that because, again, Americans, African Americans, more importantly, who forget that power is in numbers, not separatism. Okay? They are just like those many berries that denounce their association with the preferred berry, just to potentially get noticed. Shameful. I will never denounce my culture just for notoriety. I will not. I'm very proud of it. And everything that I learned comes from this culture. And I will not stand before people calling me the N-word without using my turn back. Yeah, I retaliate, all right? I'm not going to be the, you go big and they go low, you go, no. No, I'm not. I'm just keeping the buck. Okay? I say it back. And because I was a communication major, my words are very broad. I know a lot of vocabulary. And I know some preferred words to use that'll go over and around your head if you are not knowledgeable. I'm just saying. Stop calling us the N-word. Okay? Because there's more to the African American community than you can ever imagine. But if you stop copying everything, maybe you'll learn something. So, they denounced the black beautiful berry. Okay? However, notice that it changes nothing. The preferred berry was still as sweet as a berry can come. That everyone really wanted. But they just settled. Like the society. Oh, you want the blackberry. But you will settle because the society says it is good. I got Prince playing, y'all. Excuse me. Raspberry beret. Who we got here? Brianna gifted you. Thank you, Brianna. I appreciate you joining me tonight. Please be tapping the screen. Honey, this was for the brown girls. This is for the brown guys. Okay? They're in schools calling out babies the N-word. And then they had another family, okay, where they called her baby the N-word and she defended herself and they expelled her and the principal called the cops on the parents. Where they do that at? Okay? We are under attack. Now, let me stop saying that. I'm not saying that I'm not blowing no door whistles, no red meat, no, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is, guys, we have to let them know that it's more to us than just what they see. It's more to us than what the industry says is us. That is not the standard us. Okay, I think it was a book by Torre I have saying there's a new blackness. Because there's so much versatility to being black. And we come from so many different cultures. And I can only speak about African American blacks because this is where I was born and raised. And we get the worst treatment, although we give up the most fight. You know what I mean? Everybody that come here from different cultures, they want to denounce themselves from being black. I was watching an African girl. All right, no offense to the African nation because I love my African people. Yes, love them. But I watched this one girl talk to a podcast with an American man. And he said, your parents told you don't deal with me, didn't they? And she smiled and said, yes. Yes. Stay away from African American people. You know how many Caribbean people that I've listened to say negative things about us? A lot of them love us and we love them as well. But I've listened to them say negative things about African American people. Stop it. I heard one Jamaican girl says they told us negative things about African Americans, but we need to pay homage because they are the reasons why we're able to come. Stop it. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. All over. No matter what cup you use, no matter what size of the cup, no matter how much juice you drink, it's still going to be sweet if that berry is dark. You know what I'm saying? So stop settling. All right? If you need to know, ask. Okay? Who's that? Butler like the live. Bean Butler. Bo Butler. Thank you for joining me, Bo. I appreciate it. Please be tapping the screen and send your love. But yes, guys, you know what I mean? The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different, okay? And don't let nobody insult who we are. Because we know the fight from which we came. I just learned some history today. I didn't know that there was a group of black men in 1939, the 1930s, I want to say, okay? And they had built they were engineers. And they built the airport. I studied African American history in college, and I studied in elementary school and middle school. And I never learned that. So those are the unique things that you never hear about us, but in the other countries, of the people that look like us, they'll go and destroy our reputation instead of telling them that we made straightening cones and we made the peanut butter and we was the one that created brain surgery and we was the ones that made airplanes and airlines and the government stopped it because it was made by us. They don't tell them that. So that's what I'm telling you. Now, I don't want to get cut off my live, but I'm going to tell you the truth when you join 88 Poetry 1. See, that's what makes me different. I'm a poet, and yes, many of us write about our history, and they do it so finely. I love our legendary poets in this society. I love them. Okay, because they have a way of teaching you about who we are, you know, in other words, all right, from history. they've been teaching. That's why I am a poet today, because I've listened to the poets